have had this as a lecture session, I believe the understanding would have not been that much. Everyone, I believe, after going back home, was reading about one's own committee which was allotted to them. So I'll just quickly cover. The first thing which we did was School Management Committee, SMC. Just two things in that. SMC is just to ensure that the school is functioning very properly, and in that some key points are there, that the meeting has to be conducted every 3 months, and 50% of the participants of the committee must be female members. These two things are very important. Second thing is curriculum committee. When we talk about curriculum committee, it has to ensure that for the entire session the curriculum plan is going specially and strictly in accordance with CBSE norms. It is not only about what homework is being given and how the question papers are being given. It's a thorough and rigorous practice that has to be cross-checked throughout the year. Then Disaster Management Committee, where not only we have to make them aware, we should have drills also. That's a suggestion for all the principals. We should train our children, because any disaster, any calamity does not come with prior information. So what we have to do is, we have to ensure that our schools are having drills, and these mock drills are not pre-announced. Like you have a bell, then suppose the school bell is rung 5 times in continuation. That is a signal for everyone in the school campus that this is a drill. Maybe it's a drill or it's a real emergency, nobody knows. But we have to act accordingly, so that in case, God forbid, if something happens, we are well prepared with it. Next is SWA committee. That was done very beautifully. It has to be actually that way only, where you are ensuring that the quality of a standard of the curriculum conveyed or imparted by the school is being done that way. Next, School Complaint Committee. I must tell one thing, we were discussing also. It is not only that the children have the rights to complain. Second thing is also there, in case they put up false accusations. Now with the growing reach of media and information to kids, sometimes kids grow outsmart, and they try to outsmart the teachers and parents and put up false allegations. If such cases come, then they are also being punished accordingly. Then School Inclusion Committee, I would congratulate Ma'am Mingyu that she has not only talked, I have generally seen people only talk about specially abled. Yes, EWS people or disadvantaged groups also include people who come from weaker economic section. It's not only about disability. So thank you everyone. You people really worked hard. Let's have a clap for yourselves. Some actors I would like to mention. I don't know the names. Ma'am was throughout the script in her character. Then Ma'am, the one who was the naughty child, Sonam Vangmu Ma'am. And the ma'am who was in the School Complaint Committee. I think these three deserve a special clap. Yes. They were truly the actors. And you were really, sorry, the naughty child. It proves that you were very naughty when you were young. Thank you everyone. Now ma'am, if you allow, we can move for a tea break. Now we will be creating awareness about the special examinations that CBSE conducts, like CGT, professional examinations, and special examinations like NASH, National Achievement Service. Okay? Then understanding the working of Media and Public Relations Unit of CBSE. You will think, what does media help into or public relation help into? This world is of media and public relations. If you don't have relations in society nearby, you cannot survive. You need that. Next please. Let's talk the much debated hot topic, CTE, Central Teachers Eligibility Test. Now, earlier, like it is conducted by Ministry of Education. Earlier it was MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development. Now it has become Ministry of Education, has come separately. Government of India was entrusted the responsibility of conducting CTET with the CBSE New Delhi. Okay, so CBSE is the, you can say, the apex body for conducting this exam, which you can say analyzes, evaluates whether the particular candidate is eligible to become the teacher for the post or the grades applied for or not. Now, in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1 of section 23 of RTE Act, the NCTE wide notification dated so and so, you can go through these notifications. The minimum qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher for 1 to class 8. If you want to apply for being a PRT, that is a teacher for up to class 5, or a teacher teaching up to from classes 6 to 8, you have to qualify CTE. It's mandatory. Now, one of the essential qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in any of the schools referred to in clause N of section 2 of RTE Act is that one should pass the teacher eligibility test TET, which will be conducted by the appropriate government in accordance with the guidelines formed by NCTE. Now, when it comes to TET, let me clarify. CTET is for all CBSE schools, whereas TET is the test which is organized by respective states. We call it TET or CTET. Okay? So, like here, when all the schools are CBSE now, after being UP, CTET is mandatory for everyone. Now, the rationale for including CTET as a minimum qualification. It would bring national standards and benchmark of teacher quality in the recruitment process. Like in higher education, you must have heard about UGC NET.
Yes.
So for teachers, it is CTET. Just understand in layman's language. For being a teacher in a school, you must have CBET. Same ways like you have to, if you wish to be a teacher in college, you must have UGC NET. Same ways. It would induce teacher education institutions and students from these institutions to further improve their performance standards. When B.Ed became mandatory, what happened? There were mushroomed B.Ed colleges. There were many colleges where B.Ed was done without even going. And the sanctity and authenticity of that exam or degree was compromised. Then government has to come up with certain idea. Now this is the national standardization of the teachers, basically. Then it would send a positive signal to all stakeholders that the government lays special emphasis on teacher quality. But everything good comes up, a bad thing comes up. There's CTET or TET, now many coaching institutes have come up. Those who train you, CBSE headquarters has divided its work of examination among 17 ROs, regional officers. So, may I have the first slide, please? But like yesterday, Ma'am Dulma has also discussed, it is not far-fetched that soon we are also going to get corrections from boards. Because now the number of CBSE schools has increased exponentially. Then, you know the process of preparing the list of candidates, very important for the newly affiliated schools, how to prepare LOC. Once LOC is submitted, it is logged. You cannot do corrections. So what to do, how to prepare it, and how to keep it error-free, it's a big thing. And at last, the principal is answerable for the same. Teachers will do away by saying miss ho gaya. But the principal is the one who will have all the pressure of the same. Next is process and procedure involved in correction of the student's data. It's not that CBSE is saying that once done is all done for final time. No, they will give you a timeline. But it's always better to avoid all these things. Why to unnecessarily trouble you with corrections and procedures? One time when we submit the data, it should be error-free. Next thing is direct admission. Many of us don't know that once the child is registered in 9th or 11th in one school, say a child's parents may be serving in some battalion of armed forces and has got a transfer here, and the child has say passed class 9 or 11, say from Pathankot. Then we say no, you cannot get admission. No, CBSE allows, or you can say approves flexibility in direct admissions, but we have to know the correct procedure for the same. Then how to migrate from one board to another board. How to do that? That is also important. Then what is the procedure for relaxation for CWSN? Yesterday also we will have discussed this thing. CWSN stands for children with special needs. What are the exemptions for them? Then how to conduct examinations. In examinations, it's not only the theoretical exam, the theory exam that you will conduct, the pen and paper, but also how to conduct internal assessment, how to conduct practical examination. Next is getting acquainted with the role of CNS, HE examiners and the process of evaluation. It's a long and tricky process. I request you all to be very careful with it, because when it comes to us, some of us would be CNS, the principals become the CNS, then the subject experts, the PGTs become HEs, head examiners, then AHE, etc. that I'll talk in the further slides. Then getting acquainted with the rules and process of re-evaluation and compartment examination. If a child is not satisfied with the result one has got, CBSE again gives flexibility for going for re-evaluation, or the child has failed. The child gets two chances. How? We will discuss afterwards. Then, understanding the role of regional offices, familiarization and understanding about the portals related to exam, like Pariksha Sangam and Parinam Manjusha. Okay, so next slide please. Scheme of examination first. Now, examination bylaws issued by CBSE are a compilation of rules, regulations and conditions for the conduct of examination for students across 9 to 12 and public examination conducted by CBSE for AISSE class 10 and AISSCE class 12. It has to be done as per the... Now, candidates are advised to refer only syllabus suggested by NCTE. Whenever you are going to apply, like I recommend that you should apply for the same for the coming December exam, please refer to the syllabus prescribed by NCTE. There are many fake websites where you will find many modules, but you have to refer only to the authentic site. The site is already there, the information bulletin is there. Now, eligibility criteria. What is it? If you are applying as pre-primary teacher, primary teacher, upper primary teacher, secondary, senior secondary or intermediate school or college, these are, if I say today, this XYZ is the qualification which is standardized. Again, like we have talked earlier, it might change. That is why it is written here, it is amended from time to time. Right now, what is it? If you have to become a PRT or TGT, BA or BSc, whatever undergraduate course, plus B.Ed is mandatory, and now CTET is also mandatory along with it. Minimum qualifications are laid down in the recruitment rules for the teachers by the appropriate government where the school is situated, and the recruitment rules for the teachers of KDS or Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti. When we talk about JNPs, they are administered by Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti. And when we talk about KDs, they are governed by, or their rules are separate with Kendriya Vidyalaya Samiti. The candidate should satisfy his or her eligibility before applying and shall be personally responsible in case one fails to complete that eligibility criteria. Suppose you have done some undergraduate course from a university which is not recognized by UGC. There are many universities. And then you fill up the form. Obviously, you are not eligible. You will not be recruited, but this is not the fault of the organizing body, that is CBSE or NCTE, because your education standards are not fulfilled. Okay? Now, let's talk about the structure and content. We were discussing it, how it will come. Both the papers are of 150 marks each, paper 1 and paper 2. Now there is a flexibility. You can apply for both at a time or any one at a time. Paper 1, when we talk about, it is for those teachers who are wishing to teach grades 1 to 5. Those who want to teach grades up to class 8, they have to take paper 2. But if you feel you want to take both, you can take both. Both of them are conducted the very same day after a break of 1 hour or 2 hours in between. Okay? Now, there are 150 questions. First 30 questions are from child development and pedagogy. Very important part. And when we say it looks very fancy, it is what you are doing daily in the school. If a child is crying for going back home, what will you do? You will convince the child. You will say, नहीं रोते नहीं अच्छे बच्चे, कोई बात नहीं है, अभी घर चले जाओगे. You will not do this thing. रो रहा है भेज दो. No, you have your multiple ideas. Then suppose if a child is not focusing in studies, what remedials you take up? This is all in that. What we do daily, basically. Then language 1 and language 2. There you have to take up 2 languages compulsorily. Okay? Mathematics, environmental science, all have 30 questions with marks 30 each section, making it to 150, and the duration is 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Next please. Same way, here what happens, the only change is if you have to